Greetings and welcome to another powerful edition of the Community Defender Talk Show. One powerful hour of truth in a day of falsehood. I'm your host, Brother Daryl Muhammad, and we're very glad that you have taken out the time from your busy schedule to tune in to tonight's program. And of course, we have a wonderful show planned for you. Of course, tonight's topic is hypocrisy revealed. All right? The hypocrisy has been uncovered. And when you look at how things have unfolded, of course, starting last year and of course on into this year, you see very readily that a lot of hypocrisy has been uncovered so that everybody can see what is being exposed, all right? So the hypocrisy has been exposed and on so many different levels. So I wanted to, first of all, mention to us all that this time that we live in, God has literally chosen black people to be his people. That through the reformation of black people in America, who have been in bondage for over 450 years, that through the redemption of these people, these descendants of slaves, these people who are still mentally captive, it is through their redemption that God's love and God's mercy would be shown to the entire planet. Black people are a very special people, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan have taught us, and black people are to be the cornerstone of a whole new world. Now, because the Honorable Louis Farrakhan said something a little bit less than a year ago, and what he said was that when you are special to God, you become the focus of Satan. I'm going to repeat it again. When you are special to God, you become the focus of Satan. You see, Satan is an opposer to the will of God, the purposes of God, the love of God, the redemption of God. Satan is in opposition to God. And if God has chosen us to be redeemed, then understand that Satan is trying to ruin us and trying to move us in the opposite direction of redemption. If God has chosen us as a people, which is what we teach in the Nation of Islam, that black people are the chosen people of God, if God has chosen us, understand that Satan is not going to sit idly by without opposing God in his plans for the black man and the black woman. But ultimately, circumstances and situations orchestrated by the supreme mathematics of the supreme being will ultimately unfold such that the power of God will not be theorized on, but the power of God will be known in the wilderness of North America, and it will be known all over the planet Earth. This is, of course, a black show. It is a God-based show. What we do here is based upon a love for God and a love for his people. Love is at the root of the Community Defender. Everybody from the producer to those who come on, to the director, everybody is in love with the people of God, black people, and is always in the pursuit of attempting to wake up a people who are sleeping. Years ago, when I was pledging, my dean of pledges used to say that black people are a sleeping giant. And he said to us that we must be relevant as a fraternity to the upward struggle of our people. We must always seek to be relevant in that struggle. Now, we know that we're in the midst of a pandemic. And that pandemic, excuse me while I get my tie together, that pandemic is being used by Satan in a way to make you and I go for the okie doke. Satan desires that what is scheduled to happen in 2040 does not happen. In 2040, white people will no longer be the majority population in America in 2040. That's 19 and a half years from now. And if you look at what they have done in Georgia, where Warnock and Ossoff have won the Senate seats, and those two prostitutes for millionaires and business people were thrown out of office. And they were thrown out of office, and these two more progressive people were put into office. Well, there are 6 or 7 bills to limit voting, to limit the absentee ballots, to shorten the time and to shorten the availability of drop boxes. All of these bills are set up so that what happened in Georgia with the presidential election, as well as with the senatorial elections, they don't want that to happen again. And look at how vigorously they are fighting against the will of the people in Georgia. They don't care what the will of the people in Georgia really is. Their goal is to win for whatever cause they want to win for. Their goal is to win at all costs and no matter what the damage is. But look at what they're doing. They have filed 6 or 7 bills that all curtail the availability of voting hours, the places that you can bring ballots, who can get absentee ballots, how many can be given out, and so forth. They're fighting like hell in Georgia to make sure that what happened on those 2 elections does not happen again. Now, I say that right now. Why am I saying that? I'm not saying that just to point out what you already have seen in the news, right? I'm saying that because if they are hard at work to make sure that despite the popular will of the people of the state of Georgia, that they and their machinations will be victorious, if they're doing all of that because of 2 elections where they lost, imagine what they're willing to do to make sure that they don't lose the majority in America, where racist white folks, I didn't say all, but I said racist white folks, don't want that to happen. And understand this, just as white supremacists have infiltrated the police department, and there's been a lot of talk about white supremacist infiltration on this show 20 years ago. Not now, but 20 years ago on the Community Defender, Brother Oscar and myself told you about a letter that was sent to Elijah Muhammad. As a matter of fact, there's a letter from the Klan that's actually in the appendix of this book, where the Klan outlines their arguments against Elijah Muhammad in a letter from a man by the name of J.B. Stoner. But we told you that Elijah Muhammad was told by the Klan that they would send their people up north to join police departments to make sure that Negroes got the treatment they deserved. We told you that. That memo was already out in the 50s and 60s. Now all of a sudden, 20 years later, they're saying that white supremacists have infiltrated law enforcement. Really? It's been going on. the law enforcement community is, by and large, a white supremacist and often criminal enterprise. They deal dope, they give protection to dope dealers, they dabble in prostitution. In a lot of these major cities, the real criminals wear badges. But I say that to say, if they're fighting this hard in Georgia, understand that they are going to fight like hell to make sure that your population and the population of the Latinos and other people of color does not outstrip their population. What are they going to do? They have to reduce your birth rate and increase your death rate. Now you say they wouldn't do that. Yes, they would. At no point have these people told you the truth about anything. Even now, they are lying through their teeth on what they're trying to sell to you and I, which is the vaccine. Now, they want to show you all of these black celebrities rolling their sleeve up, getting a shot, and they're taking a picture of it, they're showing video of it, because they want to lead you in that direction. But they don't want to show those people who are Muslim, they don't want to show them reading the Quran, because they don't want you to read the Quran. They don't want to show those black celebrities that bought this book, a lot of black actors reading the book Message to the Black Man. They don't want to show that. But they want to show somebody getting a needle that they can't verify what's in that needle. None of these people who are talking on television can verify what's in that needle, but the bad character of this wicked system can be verified and has been verified, not just with Tuskegee. Tuskegee was horrible. It was not an incident. It went on from 1932 to 1972. That's 40 years. They want to say it was an incident. No, it was a genocide. You don't have an incident that lasts 40 years. An incident is something that may last an hour. That's no incident. That was absolute racism. And even though they want to deny it, they injected the most virulent form of syphilis into those black people, and many of whom were veterans who had fought in wars for America. They want to call that an incident. Wasn't an incident. It was a 40-year genocide. Now, according to what law enforcement wants us to believe, that for every one crime you catch, depending on the crime, there are between 100 and sometimes up to 1,000 people that you did not catch. Right? For every one crime you catch, there are 100 to 1,000 that you did not catch, according to what people in the law enforcement community want us to believe. Well, we caught one Tuskegee. We caught something else going on in the jails of Guatemala. We caught other experiments going on in prison. Now, if you multiply all of that times the 100, which it was a crime, you can see that this is going on all over the place. So we urge our people not to take the vaccine. We urge our people to depend on nutrition and not to take the vaccine. Now, if I go on my Instagram and I say the vaccine, I believe it's genocide, they will attack my page, freeze my page, maybe pull it down and delete everything because I said that. But do you know that black people are 15% as of February the 3rd? And of course, we got another figure, and I'll get the up-to-date figures later, but we are 15% of all the COVID-19 deaths according to the CDC website. 15%. Now, I got a few frat brothers that are good in math. I even have a line brother that's very good in math. And I got a B in statistics. And I got an A in calculus when I was at Southern University. And I got a B in statistics. But I was able to figure out, even though I'm no mathematical genius, I was able to figure out that 15% of the COVID deaths does not amount to us dying at 3 times the rate of white people. Somebody think about that. If we're 13% of the population, right, that means from a percentage standpoint, just dealing with our raw numbers as they are, we are 15.3% above our population percentage. That 2% in overall percentage over it amounts to a 15% difference when you bring it back. 15% more. We're dying at a rate of 15% greater than white people. And 15% is 0.15 when you do a decimal. Maybe one of my frat brothers can help me with the math. But 15% in a decimal is 0.15. 3.0, which would be 3 times the rate, is 3.0. 3.0 and 1.5 are 2 different numbers. Again, we are 13% of the population. We are 15% of the COVID deaths. It is not because we're black. It is because we're overweight with high blood pressure and diabetes. And we are under a stress that is imposed upon us by a racist society. And it's a wonder that we're just 15% of the deaths. With all of the stress that we're under that would compromise our immune system, we're only 15% of all COVID-19 deaths. Now, a person can say that. I can go on Facebook right now and Instagram, and I can say black people are 3 times, we're dying at 3 times the rate of white people. Do you know my Facebook page would not be pulled down? And that's a statistical lie designed to put fear in you that every black person is going to die unless they run out and get a shot from Satan. That is an absolute lie. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Understand that we are 13% of the population. Understand that we're 15% of all COVID-19 deaths. Understand also that the death rate of whites is climbing. Whites are 60, depending on what website you go to. Whites are 60.1%. Listen to me now. Of the population of America, whites are how much? 60.1%. White people are dying at a rate of 60.7% of all COVID deaths. So white folks are actually a little bit above their population in terms of deaths. There's a lower death rate amongst Asians, which is causing the schism in it. But the bottom line of it is that you and I are not dying at the rate that they're saying. We're dying at a rate that is relatively close to white people, above all other figures that we can. Our educational gap is bigger than 2%. Right? Our wealth gap, white families have 20 times the wealth that black families have. As a matter of fact, that we are the closest to white people we've ever been since we've been brought over here with COVID. Because we're only 2% above our population in deaths, which amounts to a 15% difference. We're dying at 1.153, and if you look at white people dying at 1.0, we're 1.15. You can look at it like that. So what I'm saying to you is that, like Public Enemy told you, don't believe the hype. And this is CDC numbers. But if I want to, and please forgive me, it looks like this bow tie is not going to stay on. And you know how Brother Daryl Muhammad loves his bow ties. But here's the thing. There is no way in the world that with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of these people are literally on patrol looking for anybody who believes that the vaccine is a bad idea and doing everything they can, looking in the rule books to see if they can pull down their page and say it's misinformation. Now, according to what the World Health Organization says, and the World Health Organization is the same World Health Organization that sat there as millions of Africans died of AIDS. They were the ones over that, right? They were the ones doing all the vaccinations, which tended to positively correlate with AIDS outbreaks. The World Health Organization, as I used to call them on this show, the World Death Organization, says that the vaccine has been extensively tested to make sure it's safe. But the CDC says that they have given it emergency use authorization, and Dr. Corbett said that when something is in emergency use authorization, it is technically still in the experimental phase. So that to see if full approval of the vaccine is possible. Now I want you to think about this. The mandate was for them to vaccinate vulnerable populations. That whole thing has gone from emergency use authorization to vaccinate vulnerable populations to 300 million doses. You see how they switched it up on you real smooth? It went from we're going to vaccinate the most vulnerable until we can test it. Now, every American, you see how they switched it on you? Over the past few months, they switched it on you. And if you don't do basic arithmetic, you'll go for the okie doke. So somebody will get on a major news outlet. Somebody will get on a black radio show, and they will say blacks are dying at 2/3, at 2 times or 3 times. A third of the deaths are black people. And just say that, and nobody opposes them. According to the CDC, according to Statistica.com, we're basically 15% or 15.3%. Some are saying 14.7%. But the bottom line is we're right around 15% of the deaths, and that is in no way 3 times the death rate. Okay? We are the closest we've ever been to white folks, statistically speaking, with COVID. I hate to say it, but we are the closest we've ever been. Educationally, we're not there. Income, we're not there. The number of college degrees, we're far away from them. We are far away in terms of STEM research. We're far away in terms of the number of biologists and medical doctors. We are far away from white folks. But when it comes to COVID, we're pretty close to white folks, because white Americans are dying at slightly above their percentage, and we're dying at slightly above our percentage. I'm just laying it out there. Now, you're probably wondering, why are you harping on this? And I'm about to tell you why. I'm about to read something right quick, because this hypocrisy is being exposed. All right. Now, on page 232 of Message to the Black Man, Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad. Something, don't get the bootleg. This is the black and white cover. This is the one. This is the one right here. The one that hasn't been altered and fixed. This is the real Message to the Black Man, produced by the Nation of Islam. But here's what I'm going to say. On page 232, it says the so-called Negroes, and I'm going to add now called African Americans, because of their fear and ignorance of this real open enemy, will fall victim to them if we do not constantly warn them of the consequences. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is saying that we got to constantly warn you. Otherwise, because of your fear and ignorance of the enemy, you will fall victim unless that warning is a constant warning. You, because you've been educated by them, you pledge allegiance to their flag, but you didn't pledge allegiance to your God. That's how they got you in school. The flag is higher than God. You are allowed to pledge allegiance to a piece of cloth, but you are not allowed to pledge allegiance to God, because that is against the law. All right, that's your school system right there. Now, why are all of these people lined up to help our enemies? And some of them are good people, to try to herd us in the wrong direction. Do you know that the eugenist Margaret Sanger went to churches and was able to get help? Do you know, to recruit people in the Tuskegee experiment, they went to black preachers and black deacons and black church folk, and they went and found people for the study in the name of health? Do y'all know that we went for the okie doke way back then? Do y'all know that? And it's the same way today. They're able to go to people and say, will you help us? Because African Americans are dying at such a high rate, and we just want to help. And if you could help us to alleviate all the suspicion. First of all, if you want to alleviate the suspicion, let all these young brothers out of jail who are in there for non-violent offenses. You still got the people in jail. You still got these women doing life. 1 out of 10, it was in the Advocate today, 1 out of 10 people in the prison in Louisiana are serving life without parole. No chance of getting out. Not to mention the many others who have 83 years, 274 years, 136 years, just crazy years in prison. Yet you want me to roll up my sleeve when you got millions of people held hostage. You want me to roll up my sleeve and trust you when I have never been able to trust you in these 460 years. Don't do it, brothers and sisters. You will regret it. Now, this is why it's happening. Okay, and I'm a man of scripture because I was made that way by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and sitting up under him and listening to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and studying the great ones that came before me, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm, so many, Abdul Biyah, so many great ministers in the nation, Minister Rahman and others, right? And here is why all of them are lined up. Because they're using a part of propaganda called the bandwagon technique. You can look it up online, the bandwagon technique. And the bandwagon technique is to make you believe that everybody of note is doing it. And so you want to follow the in crowd, so you do that because you think everybody is doing it, and that's part of the propaganda. And when you study social science in college, the bandwagon technique of propaganda is right there in your textbook. For those of you who go to University of Louisiana Lafayette, it's right there in your library. The bandwagon technique of propaganda. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get influencers to influence you to go in the wrong direction. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air with the Community Defender.
Yes, good evening, Brother Daryl. Man, I'm really enjoying the things that you're saying, how you're saying it, because as you speak to me, it look like I'm trying to be buried without justice,
Mm-hmm.
because we have so much clan injustice. And as long as we haven't cleared justice, we're going to have injustice. You know? And it's time for all of that to come to a head. I was looking at another program not too long ago, and the same thing Daryl is talking about, they're talking about it. The same thing Elijah Muhammad tried to teach us way back then, you know, is coming to pass today. You know, so I appreciate you. You look good without your tie too, man. So don't worry about that tie. You know, but with that tie, it really make you stand out. You know.
Well, thank you, my brother.
I appreciate everything that you're saying tonight. I wish more people could understand and realize, hey, get out of your five senses and come into your six senses, and everything will be all right. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate the vote of confidence, and of course, the bow tie is the tie of service. So whenever, a lot of times, a waiter in a fancy restaurant will wear a bow tie because it denotes service, and in the fine hotels, and we view ourselves, and we believe that Allah views us in this same light as servants of the community, servants. So we are here to serve, all right? Serve up the truth, serve up other things as necessary, but we are here to serve. And if we are not of service to our community, to our people, then our existence is not justified. Now, I want to go right back to a book of scripture of the Muslims called the Quran, the Holy Quran. And this is what it says. Now remember, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan on July 4th and again on December 12th admonished us to leave the vaccine alone, and he cited reasons. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called for black people, along with he and our leadership and the leadership of other organizations, to come together as a people with all of our immunologists, all of our virologists, epidemiologists, and let's look at everything, analyze it, chemically analyze it in our own labs independently, look at everything, and then go to our people with an ironclad plan, right? I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he called for. Now, instead of our epidemiologists and leaders doing that, they got on a Zoom call with Fauci. They got on a Zoom call with the National Institute of Health. They got on Zoom calls with government officials who gave them instructions. How do we get these Negroes to take this shot? Well, and they got ideas from the black doctors attempting to help them to persuade us, rather than the black doctors being free people that get together. Understand that when the enemy never has told the truth about anything before, unless he's threatening to kill you. If he's threatening to kill you, he's telling the truth. But unless he's threatening to kill you, he's likely lying. And that's just been our experience up to this very moment. Now, I want to get to this, and I wanted to lay that out there, but I wanted to get to this. Recently, a great purveyor of hate has died. A guy by the name of Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh was a special kind of charismatic, anti-black hate figure. He was a person who said, because he was basically a prostitute for big business, he said that tobacco did not cause cancer. Now, he said that, and he said they haven't proven that it causes cancer. And so he kind of flaunted his cigar smoking. He mocked those who were against big tobacco. And, you know, this is what he did. But now look, Rush Limbaugh was a victim of his own darn lies. He lied about tobacco so that tobacco, as a whore for business, tobacco could keep going. And then he dies of the same thing he said would not happen to you if you smoked. He became a victim of his own darn lies. And being the anti-black person that he was, being the dog that he was, he dies in the middle of Black History Month. I know he didn't want to die in the middle of Black History Month. But he has given us another reason. And normally, let me just say this, normally, I don't come out on somebody who's passed, no matter how wicked they are. But Rush Limbaugh has been special. His castigation of Obama for no reason, his castigation of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, every black leader of note, he has castigated them, and his insult to black women on a repeated basis. He deserves special mention as a demon who we would have to say good riddance to Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh was a victim of his own lies, and I'm not going to say may he rest in peace, but good riddance. Let us throw as much dirt on this bastard as fast as we can, because this dog was stinking up the planet while he was alive. So I know he's got to be really stinking now that he's dead, because he was stinking up the entire planet while he was alive, and I know that he's got to be stinking now. So throw some dirt on that bastard, and let's keep it moving. That's pretty much what I wanted to say about the passing of Rush racist Limbaugh, who is part of the reason that we had that riot and that insurrection at the Capitol. He's part of the reason. All of that hate that he has puked out into the ears of insecure people over these years is the reason that we have people who literally cannot believe the truth, who will take a lie before they take the truth. And you know, the Bible says that because you will not believe the truth, that God would send you strong delusion that you believe a lie. That's in the New Testament. And that strong delusion came in the form of Donald Trump. And they believed and still believe all of his lies. And they are so in distress these days. And that's why as a people we really have to be careful. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that an envious person, he said that envy was the most irredeemable quality in a human being. And he said that an envious person would literally kill you because of the hatred that they have for the object of their envy. White people believe that we're going to come into power, political power in America, economic power in America, and they are doing everything they can, and this shot is a part of it, to stop that. And in their envy of the good fortune that is coming, they will literally kill you. And that's why white supremacist people are just attacking little children. That is why a little 9-year-old girl was tased, grown men. A 9-year-old black girl, a 4th grader. And these people call themselves men. And they have a nerve to take out their frustration and hatred on even our babies. You think about that. You think about the sickness of that. And you should not want to integrate with that mindset. Understand that. There's a reason why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called for a peaceful resolution to the problem through separation. Because he knew, and he knows, and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan knows that it is not going to get any better. When Barack Obama was elected president, many of you were upset with Minister Farrakhan because he said, because you wanted to have hope in the system. You said, finally, we're not going to be judged on race. Finally, We're in a post-racial America. And then Minister Farrakhan said, not so fast. Unfortunately, he said, race relations are going to get worse. Some of y'all couldn't believe it. But was Minister Farrakhan right? He was right. He is right. And he's right about this vaccine. Now, I wanted to get to Brother Kerr, the officer, the beautiful brother who's a deputy. Now, I want you to cue it up at a part where he's talking. But I'll give you a moment because I'm going to try to set it up. Now, I want to say this. I'm sure that Brother Kerr has family members in this area because he worked and served in this community. I'm sure he has people that love him in this community. And it may be difficult if we show the video of him talking. That may be somewhat hurtful for those who knew the brother and loved the good brother. But what we're attempting to do is to teach an entire community and expose a hypocrisy that over time the exposure of such and the dealing with such healing can begin. We're doing this for a broader purpose, not just to open up a wound of hurt for a man who took his life after giving a heartfelt testimony about the racism that he watched and how he no longer wanted to live as a part of what he called a demonic system. That's his word. We've said it on the Community Defender. Now you got a sincere brother on his last testimony saying the same thing. You got it queued up, Brother Director?
Yes.
And we're just going to listen to our brother and we're going to elaborate.
January 31st, a little bit after 1:30, last Sunday. So, here's what it is. I was kind of hoping to see the Super Bowl, this one especially, because we got two Purple Knights actually playing against each other. Mr. Tyrann Mathieu and Leonard Fournette. Hope y'all go forth and conquer. And, I don't think it's happenstance that everything is going on at this particular time. So, I don't know, possibly, maybe if y'all want to, you should. Like I say, take a knee, but you need to figure something out because this is a moment that can be seized. I think that it should be. So, but yeah, man. I've had enough of all of this nonsense of serving a system that does not give a damn about me or people like me, or just about life in general. And this is my statement. If this isn't something to state that this killing that's going on, especially by the police, which I am, I can't abide by this no more. I'm not having anything to do with this nonsense anymore. Call me what you want, try to discredit me. I have been a stellar deputy in this 5+ years that I've been there. My last email's been sent. It's copied to somebody. I can't be discredited. Never so much as one write-up for maybe some reports being late. None whatsoever. So it can't be said that I was a shammer or anything like that, or I wasn't pulling my weight. And just for contextual purposes, I just want y'all to understand where and what I'm coming from. It's my entire life has been in service of other people. And it's just dawned on me that this time, as of now, needs to be seized because you don't really give a damn about us. That is the truth. That is the truth. I've served with a full heart in the military. After that, got back into law enforcement, and you have no idea how hard it is to put a uniform on in this day and age with everything that's going on. None. And listen, y'all entrust me to safeguard your little ones, your small ones, your thing that's most precious to y'all, and I did that well. Y'all trust me with that. I've had security clearance in the military. That's verifiable. If I was untrustworthy, if I was a threat, would they let me guard the U.S. Embassy in Kabul? Which I did. I trained Iraqi police, Afghan national police, and that's not it. But I wouldn't have been put in a position of that if they thought I was a threat. But that has allowed me to see the inner working of things, and this is a demonic system, and it's not anything I can continue to serve and want to be a part of. And this is not right. This is no form of justice. Let's go down the list. Botham shot in his own apartment. How that work? How does that work? Chilling on his couch. I don't give a damn if he had weed in the apartment. You're going to execute somebody for that? Oh no, y'all are good for that. You break up families for a plant, this war on drugs and this nonsense. But now it's starting to get legal because big pharmaceutical companies stand to make billions off of it, and they paid off the lobbyists, who in turn have started ushering the way it needs to go for them. The countless people who are doing time behind that. How do you even make amends for that? You can't. You can't. This Floyd, man, Brianna, this shit's not right. I'm telling you, it's not. If this feels right to you as a person, then something is wrong with you. This is the furthest thing from right. This is the manner of wickedness that bro. And you're getting away with it. When is enough going to be enough for people? Huh? Seriously. Seriously. Y'all are radicalizing people, and then when they buck and they want to go against the system because it's not for them, you come down on them with a hammer. I don't understand this.